Warning, this article contains major spoilers from Happy Valley Season 3, Episode 6. Sally Wainwright's award-winning series was brought to a sensational close this evening, February 5th. The final series of Happy Valley has been watched by over 11 million viewers who have been gripped. Following the series finale, this number is likely to go up further. Here's a look at the main plot points from the last ever episode of Happy Valley. What happened at the end of Happy Valley? Tommy was moved from his safe house. Tommy Lee Royce, played by James Norton, was moved after his position became compromised, but not before he took the game's console in order to talk to Ryan Cawood, Reese Khanna. The criminal was told he needed to travel in the boot of the car with Victor, Anthony Flanagan, and the other mobsters turning up to pick him up. Tommy said he needed an inhaler and went back into the house to get a knife for protection, sensing something was off. On the flip side, his bossy behavior was also annoying the mobsters and foreshadowing trouble. Ryan betrayed Tommy. Catherine Cawood, Sarah Lancashire, had to take Ryan for questioning because he'd been visiting Tommy. Ryan revealed Tommy had reached out to contact him via his game's console and spilled all about the Spain plan. The teen also had to make statement to the police about PE teacher Rob Hepworth, Mark Stanley. Moreover, Ryan said he felt sorry for Tommy, but there was no way he would have gone with his father. Later, Ryan gave some words of wisdom to Catherine about making up with her sister Claire Cartwright, Siobhan Finneran, saying the two couldn't fall out over him. Claire and Catherine made up as the police officer regretted not allowing Ryan to see Tommy, knowing the teen would be curious. The police officer accepted Ryan was a well-adjusted, pretty flipping normal kid and realized her grandson wanted to see Tommy, if only to realize he wasn't like his convict parent. Tommy was left close to death. Tommy didn't trust the mobsters and killed two of them and threatened the third one. The fugitive then got into a tense knife fight with the remaining mafia member before killing him brutally. But he didn't escape unscathed with a deadly wound, which needed urgent treatment or could result in his death. As Tommy lay in a field, he heard his son's voice saying he wasn't allowed to go home and decided to go to the house, knowing it would be empty and therefore a safe haven for him. Tommy broke into Catherine's house nonetheless. Tommy made it to town as he tried to exact revenge on Catherine and find Ryan. Against advice, Catherine was in her home when Tommy broke in, but before the pair could meet, the police officer abruptly left to pick up Ryan, who was still at the police station. Alone in the house, Tommy went to Ryan's room to see where his son lived and looked through his possessions. Tommy also found photo albums of Ryan and Becky Cawood, Emily Barnett, leading him to weep over everything, but mainly because he was dying and his grand plans had failed. Catherine and Tommy meet. The police officer went back home and noticed her window had been smashed open, realizing there was a break-in. Without calling for backup, Catherine carefully entered her house with her taser at the ready as she and Tommy came face to face. She arrested Tommy and sent for backup after finding him, but in a surprising turn of events, he also gave up Darius Knežević, Alex Ikaranu. Tommy confirmed Gary Gagisk was killed by Darius, and the felon said he wanted Catherine to tell her police colleagues the truth as his dying wish. Tommy's redemption. Tommy also had a moment of redemption after saying Catherine gave his son Ryan a nice life. He said he forgave Catherine and no longer hated her, with the police officer astounded he was one to bestow forgiveness after causing so much misery. Tommy covered himself in petrol and planned to set himself alight, saying he wouldn't go back to prison. He then set himself on fire in front of Catherine, but she managed to put out the blaze with one of Claire's crotched blankets. Backup final arrived to take Tommy to hospital with the villain ending up in a coma. The final scene: Catherine retired after nailing the Knežević family, Tommy, as well as shedding the light on the prescription pill situation in the area. She went to visit Becky's grave again before she then took her truck and headed off on her road trip. Other plot points: Joanna's murder. Rob was questioned by the police over his affair with a fellow teacher, as well as his marriage to Joanna Hepworth, Molly Winnard. A bloody fingerprint belonging to Rob was found by the police as he protested his innocence. But in the end, he was done for having indecent images on his phone rather than the murder. Ivan and Madia. The police turned up at Madia Jankovic, Jack Bandera, and Ivan Sartik's, Oliver Huntington, house with a huge stash of cash no less, and the pair getting banged up. They were arrested for helping Tommy to escape thanks to the photos Ryan had given the police. This meant Ivan never made it to his wedding, which he was due to attend in a couple of hours. Faisal Badi, Amit Shah, saw the pair of them had been arrested for money laundering and false imprisonment, which meant he was now free, or so he believed. Catherine encountered Becky. Catherine visited Becky's grave and told her, "I've done my best. I'm just tired now." As she stood up, she felt Becky's presence in the cemetery, with her daughter telling her, "I know, Mom." She went on to look at photos of Becky as a child and then at Ryan through the years, breaking down over the albums. Catherine found pills at Allison's house. Catherine was staying at Allison Gar's, Susan Lynch, flat as she hid from Tommy following her fallout with her sister. The police officer had turned up at 3 a.m. at Allison's house, but things took a twist after Catherine found pills which she said belonged to her probation officer. This tapped into one of the underlying themes of the show and the drug problem in West Yorkshire, but this wasn't the end of the story. Faisal was finally caught. Thanks to some more digging, Catherine managed to pin the illegal supply of prescription drugs on Faisal, with the police going after him. She also mentioned Faisal lived near the Hepworths, with the suggestion being the chemist could be linked to Joanna's murder and so taking him down in the end. Happy Valley is streaming on the BBC iPlayer now.